Well, Happy New Year, everybody. I haven't put a video out in a while. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I've got one for you tonight. Um, the context for this is that I have decided to do an Olympic weightlifting meet on May 2nd. So my goal for that is to equal or better my best ever total, which I did weighing about 228 pounds back in 2010. So that's kind of crazy, and I've got my work cut out for me. I'm going to still try to maintain the power lifts as I go through this because I'm going to still be doing some powerlifting meets this year as well. But I just needed a little bit of a change of pace and wanted to challenge myself a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. So this workout opens up with clean and jerks. And I've been working with some things here. And one of those is that I am trying to perform the jerk with a fairly wide stance with toes pointed out in the hopes that that will allow me to have a more vertical dip, which has always been kind of a struggle for me. So I'm watching most of these for the first time myself right now. So far this looks pretty good for me. I did do a clean and jerk workout I think a week ago, and I worked up to 135, which felt fine. So I wanted to kind of get a little bit past that number today. Someone had asked me, I posted this video on Facebook, and somebody had asked me where my grip is, and my pinkies are on the lines. And that's because it kind of takes the bar off my fingertips and into my palm a little bit more, which is a little bit better for the jerk. So it is kind of a wideish grip. And you know, as I watch this, my dip for the jerk is still not entirely vertical, but I think it's better than usual, and I'll get used to this stance. You'll see me adjust my feet here. I'm trying to get my toes out and real wide. I liked how these clean and jerks looked right up till about 135 pounds, I think. But that's okay. Progress is progress. This is 95. I think I did this for 3. I'm going to get that wide stance with toes out. I actually like my head position here. When you jerk, you want to get your head kind of through. And some coaches call that wedging. And at least on these weights, I'm doing that a little bit better than usual, so I'm kind of happy about that. I think that kind of falls away as the weights get heavier, though. We'll see. Trying to get stationary there for a second. And that head position is pretty good. I'm actually fairly happy about that. Next weight was 115, which I think I did for a double. One thing that coaches have criticized me for in the past that I still see here is that I never quite get stationary before the jerk. I'm kind of loosey-goosey and kind of wiggling all over the place. So that's why I'm doing this, though. It's kind of a challenge to see how much I can clean up this technique. So I'm trying to get that wide stance. That, honestly, is pretty good for me. And I went up to 135 for a single, which is this right here. And I think I recall this feeling and looking fairly decent. So I'm trying to get that stance, stay real vertical on the dip, head through. That looked pretty good. Of course, I'm assessing this relative to how I remember myself looking 5 years ago, which was the last time I was really training this movement. This is 155 on the bar. We'll see how this looks. Now I start to see that head kind of not coming through as much as I would like. And the next two weights probably don't get any better. Next weight here was 175. And I remember this feeling a little bit dicey on the jerk. My clean is definitely ahead of my jerk. All these cleans are pretty easy for me. Yeah, so you see my head going up there. Then I finished this up with 185. And, you know, it's not pretty, but this will be kind of a benchmark for me. And over the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'll be looking to make 185 look prettier than this. But again, the clean is definitely easy. It's just the jerk that's kind of the issue for me. Yep, not too great, but it's a start for the new year, and I'll be continuing to work on this, and we'll see how that goes. Deadlifts were next, and clean and jerks actually make a great warm-up for deadlifts, because when you then shift to deadlifts, even though the weight is heavier, you have the nicety of not having to do as much with it. So it's kind of a mental release a little bit, that all you have to do is just stand up with the weight. So this is 185. I notice on these videos that I never extend these deadlifts, so kind of really working on that. I think I took 225 for a triple here. And these look pretty good. I could sit these down maybe a touch more, but we'll see what happens. That's Andre and Chris that I train with typically on Thursdays. This is 275, which felt easy as it should. And next one is 315, and I think right about here I knew I was going to have a pretty good pull today at least. This went up pretty nice. And the 365 afterwards went up pretty nice as well.
All right, good to go. That's it.
This is 405. I was trying not to dive bomb these. I'm trying to be a little bit more controlled and a little bit more precise on these pulls. That went pretty well. And then I ended up with 455, which was a hard pull, but I was happy with it today. So here was the top pull for the day, which was 455.
All right, now. Go.
Oh, and son of a gun, I actually locked that out pretty good, so. So what I am doing here is I'm trying to do a very upright squat where I mimic the drive position on a jerk, the upper range of motion. So it's just kind of like a little quarter front squat, I should say. And this was on the suggestion of Coach Christian Thibodeau, who is a friend of mine. He's had some good results with this. This is the same stance that I was trying to use on the jerk. It's a wide stance with the toes turned out and just trying to keep the torso very straight up and down. Actually starting from the pins. You see me kind of struggling to figure out this position a little bit. Really just trying to mimic the drive position on the jerk. So I just worked up to 225 for a couple of sets on that. I didn't want to push this too crazy the first time out. That was Gene in front of the camera. So here's 225 on this. Then I just took one more set with 225 and finished it up with a set of back extensions. I have no idea why the sound went silent here. Hopefully it's not, hopefully something's not wrong with the video, but we'll see. And back extensions was 130 pounds for a set of 17, and that was the end of it. So if you find this stuff interesting, please let me know. Please like the video, maybe share it. And we'll be doing more of these again next week. So thanks a bunch.
Yep, surprised me. It's harder. It's harder. I think it surprised you too. But it's harder than I expected. For sure. 17. That's good.